story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. In a major story, federal government rules out closing Nigeria's borders over the threat of Ebola. Also in this program, Inspector General of Police Mohammed Abubakar orders commissioners to personally supervise special security deployment during the Eid al-Fitr holidays. Nigeria's leading opposition party, the All Progressives Congress, replies presidency over alleged sponsorship of Boko Haram, states readiness for probe. Outside Nigeria, police tear gas protesters who gather in Paris to demonstrate against the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Now the details. Nigeria's authorities are now taking steps to stop Ebola virus from causing a health crisis after confirming that it has spread to the country. They are set to sensitize the public on the virus as well as post more health officials to all entry points. The government has, however, ruled out the possibility of shutting Nigeria's borders with neighboring countries. The report.
It's now official. The deadly Ebola virus has found its way in Nigeria after causing a health crisis in Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia. Soon after the Liberian who had earlier been quarantined in Lagos had died, government officials hurriedly met in Abuja to push out a national response. One of the decisions is that more health officials are to be posted to the borders to prevent infected people from coming in from affected countries.
On the 22nd of July this year, which means a few days ago, the Federal Ministry of Health was alerted on a suspected case of Ebola virus disease in Lagos. And this involved a 40-year-old male who traveled from Monrovia in Liberia to Nigeria on Askai Airline via Lome, Togo. This passenger arrived Lagos through the Muritala Mohammed Airport on the 22nd of July this year. He presented with fever, vomiting, and diarrhea on arrival at the airport. The Port Health Division of the Federal Ministry of Health quickly isolated the passenger and transported him straight to the hospital, avoiding contact with the general public. The patient was subjected to thorough medical evaluation, where laboratory investigations were also carried out. His blood sample was taken to the advanced laboratory at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUTH, which confirmed the diagnosis of Ebola virus disease. This result has since been corroborated by other laboratories outside Nigeria.
The government is, however, ruling out the possibility of shutting the nation's border.
So there's no question of vaccination. But the present protocol is that if you are sick, you don't have to travel. So these are things we're also appealing to other countries that they need to enforce all those regulations, including the airlines and so on, The airlines are aware that before they move a sick person, they must have a report from a appropriate medical personnel stating what the disease is like and what kind of transport that is being recommended. So Nigeria cannot close border. The countries who want to close border, they don't have it yet.
Ebola is a deadly ailment that is now an epidemic in some West African countries. But the Nigerian authorities, which a few months ago went on the air to deny rumors of Ebola spread, are now set to push out health alerts. This is with a view to raising awareness.
Communication on the outbreak of Ebola, unfortunately, which has taken place in Lagos. There are other measures we are taking to reach out to the people. Already there are jingles that have been prepared by the Center for Disease Control in the Ministry of Health here. Those jingles are already on air, particularly on radio and television. We are going to increase the broadcast of those jingles in all radio stations in the country. And I would like to appeal particularly to the private media, because this is a national emergency. This is not something that we will succeed if we demand for money to be paid by the Minister of Health to send out broadcast these jingles to the people of Nigeria. So we're embarking on a number of measures for public awareness.
For now, government officials insist there's no cause for alarm, but they also want Nigerians to be careful because of the deadly nature of the virus.
The Police High Command has ordered command commissioners of police to personally supervise the special security deployment during the Eid al-Fitr holidays. They are also to ensure a 24-hour surveillance of their respective areas of operations. Inspector General of Police Muhammad Abubakar says the directive is to ensure a hitch-free celebration. He has also directed the CPS to pay special attention to securing public places and other points prone to attacks. The police boss specifically wants them to consider local security realities before deploying equipment and men during the period. Senate President David Mark is seeking a collective action to end terrorism as Muslims across the world mark the end of the Ramadan fast. Mark also congratulated them for the successful completion of the fasting and prayer, which he said the nation desires at this trying time. He also noted that the prevailing situation does not call for blame game, while making a case for more public confidence in the ability of security operatives. Mark lamented that over 200 Chibok secondary school girls are still missing more than 100 days after they were abducted by Boko Haram. He, however, assured Nigerians that all the strategies and contacts being done by the federal government, coupled with international cooperation, would yield the required dividends soon. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has appealed to Muslims in Nigeria to pray for an end to the insecurity currently haunting the country. In an Eid al-Fitr message marking the end of the month-long Ramadan fasting period, the former vice president regretted that the terrorists have shed so much blood in the name of religion. He advised Muslims to join hands with other Nigerians of goodwill to defeat the terrorists' agenda of provoking sectarian crisis by attacking the places of worship. Atiku also noted that Nigerians must unite against the insurgents because they don't spare Muslims or Christians in the course of their activities. Meanwhile, transport unions in Abuja have intensified security checks at bus terminals and motor parks in the aftermath of the bombing of a motor park in Kano. But many commuters did not seem impressed. They want transport operators to do more to boost the confidence of commuters. Pius Samuel has the details.
This is one of the major bus terminals in Abuja. It is also one of the busiest. Thousands of commuters pass through here daily to other parts of the country. When CoreTV news crew visited the park, the gate was opened, creating free entry for cars without any security check. But somehow, this youth showed up and started conducting security checks with just this metal detector. There is no trace of CCTV cameras in sight, but these union officials say park operators have been adequately sensitized on how to handle any security threat.
Because we had a security committee put in place as directed by the military, and there are others in Mufti who have been asked to check with proper observations clients that are coming to the park and how they move out of the park. But again, the government needs to do the needful. Jabi Park is very porous because there's no perimeter fencing here, and there is no CCTV that could help us in doing this job.
Just open, no checking, no question.
It's very dangerous. Yeah, so what do we do now?
This may not be enough to keep the bus station safe from attacks. More needs to be done to guarantee safety around it. The leadership of the transport union says there are other security measures in place.
What we are currently doing is to cooperate with the law enforcement agents and then make sure that we provide some security device that can be used to check. Presently, we have this metal detective device that is being used to assess every vehicle that will be coming into the park. First of all, we have to open the boot. We have to employ some of the staffs to make sure that every vehicle coming in properly checked before they moved in.
For over 15 minutes, this man had been at this bus park. He admitted that he was searched at the gates, but is not convinced that this is enough to stop daring insurgents from striking.
I was expecting somebody to come and meet me and ask me, because I've been here for almost 15 minutes, so I couldn't get the person that I'm coming to see here. So I was expecting that somebody should look after me and said, please, how may I help you, or are you looking for somebody, or what's your problem? You have been here for some minutes, and what's the problem? You have not been responded to. So I've not seen somebody like that. I think something like that should have to be happening here.
The authorities are sure they have put in place security measures at motor parks, but they also want the citizenry to be more security conscious. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The All Progressives Congress says it is ready to answer any inquiry over allegation by the presidency that it was sponsoring the violent Boko Haram sect. The APC stated its readiness to answer the inquiry following accusations by the People's Democratic Party and some foreign agencies that it was using the militant sect as a tool to disrupt President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Lai Mohammed, described those who claimed that the party was behind the activities of the Boko Haram as hawks and prostitutes hired by Jonathan to destabilize the opposition. Rising cases of domestic violence is causing headache for a group concerned with the upliftment of women in the society. Find out more on the latest case right after this time out. Don't go away.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Nigerians continue to travel the city of Lagos went dark.
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west and around Africa. We break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV.
Our 24-hour news station.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influence the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Thank you for being there. The president of Women Arise Initiative, Joe Okeodumaki, has described increasing rise in domestic violence in Nigeria as a failure on the part of women's inability to speak out when in danger. Olajumoke Olatuji has more in this report.
Batching is a pattern of behavior used to establish power and control over another person through fear and intimidation. In Nigeria, wife batching by the male fox has remained a symbol of strength for some men. This is the case of Fatima Bankole, a Lagos resident who narrated our ordeal in the hands of her husband of 14 years.
On 16th of this month, we had a quarrel with my husband. We are 3, but one has already left, so I'm the first one. And we used to share the cooking during the month of Ramadan. So I've finished my own part. So the youngest wife is her turn to cook. So on that day when we finished breaking, so and she was there when I was serving the food. Normally when we cook finish, everybody will go to kitchen to serve himself. So as she served the husband finished, I went there to serve my own food. Then she was there when I served the food. I don't know what happened. Later, the husband called me that what happened with the food where we eat. I said, nothing happened. He said the youngest wife said she bought fish with her own money. Then I had the fish. I told him that she was in the kitchen when I was serving the food. And we both ate here together. So I didn't take any fish. So that was what happened. Then he got angry with me, started blowing me.
One of the coordinators of Women Arise in Lagos, Abiola Ojo, describes Bankole Kamoru, the husband in the front burner, as a wife batterer.
The issue was not incidented at the police station, probably because I think that should be about the 4th or 5th time and in-house settlement and the rest. But what actually happened was that upon getting to the police, even the man has a fight there. Unfortunately, the same investigating police officer that handled this previous case with his former wife is equally handling this now.
The president of Women Arise Initiative, Joe Okeodumaki, expressed bitterness and deep concern over the developments and admonished women not to cover up wife battering spouses.
We want to use this opportunity to call on husbands to realize that marriage is not competition, but to complement each other. To also realize that wives are vulnerable, they are weaker vessels. They are just there to help their husbands, and so they should not touch them. They are not, it's a home and not boxing ring. Apart from that, we also need to let men who perpetrate these heinous acts realize that there is a law that stipulates punitive measure to anyone that physically or even psychologically or mentally, attacks the wife.
The Lagos State House of Assembly has promised to look into the issue and other cases related to rise in domestic violence in Nigeria. Olajumoke Olatuji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Some residents of Osun State are beginning to lament what they claimed as hard times. The residents, mostly traders, say economic activities in the state have plummeted. They attributed the cash crunch to capital drain. Correspondent Franco Malape has more in the special report.
Apart from being a largely civil service state, the people of Osun engage majorly in farming and retail businesses. While some of them are traders, others are involved in transportation as a means of livelihood. For this young woman, her foodstuff business is thriving despite the cash crunch in the state.
You know, our business like food store. Every day people have to eat. So people is buying, is moving.
Motorcycles and the popular Korokpin, a Yoruba word which when translated means minibus, are a major means of transportation here. Ademola is a school teacher engaged in the transportation business. He says he's in the business to augment his salary. He speaks more his experience.
We are trying to manage the family with the little we are earning from it, and we can save just about 40 or 50,000 naira per month if we really do it fully per day. At least we ought to deliver 2,000 naira per day. 2,000 naira. But for someone who owns it himself, you can do more.
Rising unemployment, which is not peculiar to the state, has also been faulted for the current situation.
Most of the people of Osogbo here, they used to travel out to go and work. People who are now in the state, they are from different places. So agriculture is part of it. People are going farm, trading. Because there are no much industries like Lagos here.
Wahid, a young aspiring man who is not happy with his commercial motorcycle business, claims he's involved in it to help his family.
I'm doing this business because I'm not doing ordinary work, because I have a certificate to do the work. Based on the population of the people when they are at town, I need to do the work, maybe from there I see help.
The forthcoming August 9 governorship election appears so crucial for the future of the economic activity in the state. Some residents say they expect the next government to focus on the welfare of workers in the state.
In the area of youth empowerment and the civil servants, we want the civil servants to be well treated, to be regularly paid as when due, so that it can also affect the economy of we belong to the private sector.
I would advise the next government, if they come to power, they just have to deal with the workers. I mean the workers in the state.
Ademola, who is passionate about his family, would prefer the government engages the people in direct labor.
Most of the jobs the government is doing now, they didn't carry along the people in the town as a laborer. They should employ them as a laborer so that they will earn through the direct labor. But it seems that these people that are doing the job, they were new people. Maybe they said they were from Lagos. We don't know.
Perhaps the most lucrative trade in the state at the moment is teaching.
Teaching is the only teaching profession that is not backward. I think our stamina. So we have people on the teaching line. That is the only major industry I can see that has people money here.
Ahead of August election, agitations have been raised by residents of Osun State in the area of meaningful government policies that will positively affect the lives of people. From the Osun State capital, Osogbo, I am Frank Omalape, CoreTV News.
We take another break on CoreTV Primetime News to return with business, sports and other stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, people's parliament from the national, state and local government assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
CoreTV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 014-533-407.
Our 24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. Now to business news. At the time that the Central Bank of Nigeria is moving to enhance financial inclusion through zero transaction cost, most banks are charging higher commission on turnover (COT) of 3 naira per mil as against 2 naira per mil as agreed by both the Bankers Committee and the CBN last year. The banks are said to be exploiting unsuspecting customers to make up for losses occasioned by a reduction in public sector funds holding and charges from ATMs, a development some analysts say may pitch them against the CBN. According to Section 3, Subsection 1 of the Guide of Charges agreed by both CBN and Bankers Committee last year, provides that COT is negotiable. The CBN is worried over this trend and is considering possible sanctions for non-compliance with the refund deadline and those still charging higher rates. The Central Bank of Nigeria sold 134 billion naira treasury bills of 3 months, 6 months and 1 year maturities, with 3/5 fetching lower yields than at the previous auction. The central bank sold 34.88 billion naira in the 3-month paper at 9.84% compared with 9.95% at the previous auction on July 9. It also sold 48 billion naira in 6 months debt note at 10.10%, 14 basis points lower than the 10.24% at the previous auction. A total of 52 billion was sold in the 1-year paper at 10.40%, higher than 10.34% similar tenor paper fetched at the June 25 auction, the last time such paper was sold. Demand for the debt was 305.74 billion, driven by a high level of excess liquidity in the banking system. This year's Nigerian Stock Exchange CEO sectorial dinner focused on the role of government in providing a safe and legal framework to help build sustainable business environments in Nigeria. The report.
The organizers of the event aimed at bringing together CEOs of key sector to explore the Nigerian economy. The CEO of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Oscar Oyema, spoke on corporate sustainability and the role of oil and gas sector as the core of Nigerian economy. The guest speaker of the event, Group Managing Director, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Engineer Andrew Yakubu, commended the Nigerian Stock Exchange for putting up such an important event. The GMD explained the role of the government policy in the business sector.
NSE CEO dinner, we actually started so that we can get policymakers, prospect companies, existing listed companies, and other stakeholders together to discuss issues that are pertinent to a particular sector.
Government focus has therefore shifted towards enabling policies and initiatives that will jumpstart an accelerated pace of development in Nigeria.
Participants at the dinner appreciated the effort of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and were optimistic of the Nigerian economy.
Quite impressed by the Stock Exchange for organizing the program to enlighten all stakeholders of the opportunities available in raising capital in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I'm confident that the government will be able to resolve a lot of the current issues we have right now, including terrorism, vandalism. I think they will be able to resolve them.
This is a forum in which to show case studies of companies that have done it, what they have achieved, and what the potential is for new players in the market. So I think it's a good forum. They do it every quarter.
But it was not all business, as the CEOs were entertained by live band performers and the comic remarks by ace comedian Ali Baba.
And now to the world of sport. What football governing body FIFA has written to the Ghana Football Association expressing concerns over a government investigation into the team's performance at the 2014 FIFA World Cup. The Ghanaian government has set up a three-man commission to investigate the performance of the side after they failed to qualify from the group stages in Brazil, losing to the United States in their opening game before earning a creditable draw with eventual champions, Germany. However, needing at least a draw in their final match with Portugal, the Black Stars went down 2-1 and made an early exit. Ghana's time in Brazil was blighted, however, by rows over appearance money and infighting in the squad. The squad refused to train earlier in the competition in a row over money, prompting Ghana's president, John Dramani Mahama, to send a plane containing £1.76 million to Brazil for the players to share. Six-time Olympic champion Usain Bolt says he will run in the heat of the 400 meters relay at the Commonwealth Games after arriving in Glasgow on Saturday. There was speculation the Jamaican might choose to race in just the final as he continues to chase step form after an injury-hit start to the season. The 27-year-old is taking part in his first Commonwealth Games after missing the 2006 and 2010 events. The relay heat gets underway at the Hampden Park next Friday. Tyson Fury has withdrawn from Saturday's heavyweight contest against Alexander Usyk after his trainer and uncle, Hughie, was taken to hospital. Fury was set to fight Ustinov after original opponent and heavyweight rival Derek Chisora withdrew from their fight after fracturing his hand in training. Promoter Frank Warren had hastily rearranged the bout to secure former kickboxer Ustinov as Fury's opponent. However, Fury's uncle, Peter, who also trains the 6x9 boxer, decided to withdraw him from the contest due to concerns over his mental readiness for the bout in the wake of his Hughie's hospitalization. And now to stories outside Nigeria. Riot police fired tear gas in Paris on Saturday as tensions rose at a 5,000-strong pro-Palestinian rally that went ahead in defiance of a ban days after similar rallies ended in violence. The demonstration against Israel's Gaza offensive that has killed more than 1,000 Palestinians comes after other protests last weekend in Paris and a suburb town that had also initially been banned descended into chaos. Organizers of Saturday's protests had tried going to court to get the ban overturned, but they were unsuccessful, and Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve warned that they would be held responsible for any unrest and liable to penal sanctions. According to estimates, about 5,000 people turned up at the Place de la République in central Paris, brandishing Palestinian flags and the red banners of the far-left New Anticipationist Party that had called on people to defy the ban. After an initial peaceful start, police began firing tear gas after some hooded protesters threw cans and other objects at them, and several journalists were roughed up. A police source said 40 people were detained, adding that they were under strict orders to take in people who made anti-Jewish statements or gestures. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and top diplomats from Europe and the Middle East have called for an extension to a temporary ceasefire currently in force between Israel and Hamas. Both sides have agreed to a 12-hour humanitarian truce in Gaza that started on Saturday morning, putting a brief stop to a conflict that has killed nearly 1,000 Palestinians, a large majority of them civilians. The 19-day offensive on Hamas-ruled Gaza was launched in response to rockets fired by militants of the Islamist group into the Jewish state. 37 Israeli soldiers have also died in the violence. Kerry and Fabius met with their counterparts from Britain, Germany, Italy, Qatar and Turkey, as well as a representative from the European Union. Kerry, who has been leading international efforts to reach a truce, is in regular contact with the foreign ministers of Turkey and Qatar as both countries wield influence on Hamas. Hamas chief Khalid Mashal is based in Qatar, while Turkey's Islamic-oriented prime minister has strongly criticized Israel's assault on Gaza, as well as Egypt's role in trying to clinch a ceasefire. The United States evacuated its Libyan embassy staff under air cover on Saturday as they faced a real risk from fierce fighting around Tripoli airport, according to Secretary of State John Kerry. He made this known hours after the country's interim government warned that the clashes between militia vying for control of the strategic airport were threatening to tear Libya apart. The embassy was considered to be at risk as it is on the airport road close to the scene of the fighting.
We will return the moment the security situation permits us to do so, but given the situation, as with Turkey, I think they moved some 700 people or so out. We want to take every precaution to protect our folks. I express my appreciation for the enormous amount of work that both Prime Minister Attila and Prime Minister Davutoglu engaged in the last days to help bring about the short-term ceasefire that we all hope is going to be extended into a longer-term ceasefire where people can get together and work on the way forward for a sustainable ceasefire, a longer-term effort to work out the difficult issues between the State of Israel and the Palestinian factions.
I want to assure all the parties and, of course, all our colleagues, allies, that Turkey will be working very hard to stop this bloodshed on the ground, to reach a sustainable ceasefire, and at the end of these efforts to have two-state solution, which is the real solution for all these disasters and bloodshed.
That's been the show tonight. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Ebulomo Adekunle, wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Good night.